Welcome back to my channel, Navigating Midlife Live. Thank you for joining me today. The title says it all. Why I offer a guarantee to my clients. And this is actually something that I've been thinking about for a bit. I often talk about, I know that my methods work. I've worked with clients very successfully at in reducing their menopause symptoms, helping them achieve the goals that they set. And I've also been thinking about this with respect to the whole coaching business to a certain extent. There's a lot of us out there, whether it be nutrition coaches, menopause coaches, uh, business coaches, life coaches. There's a lot of coaches. And I've spent a lot of money working with business coaches specifically. And there's times where I've felt that maybe some of the guidance or the information that I received from them really wasn't applicable to me. And some of them were can't get that out, group coaching programs, and some of them were individualized. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, who do I trust? If I'm going to invest this money, why should I trust this person over another? And that's where it can become, I guess it can become difficult to make the decision. And for some, it can be, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know who to trust, and I don't want to spend the money and end up being disappointed. So that's why I decided that I wanted to talk about this today, because I do truly believe in my methods. I'm very confident in those methods and how they work with my clients. But the other part is that when I'm offering a guarantee, yeah, I'm also asking for a commitment from my client. And everybody's different. I offer group programs. I have my membership, so that's a group program. And when I'm talking to a client about, what's the best option for them, of course, yes, we always look at, what the financial obligation is and what works best for them. But also, where are they at? Are they somebody who just wants to be part of a community and they're okay with the education information that I share within my membership and having access to me once a month on the live sessions that I do within my membership? For some people, they just need that extra little bit of support, and that works really well for them. And then for others, some women do actually choose to have that very personalized support. And that's where I feel it is important for me to offer that guarantee, because that woman is investing in me. She's also taken time to probably do some research on who I am. She's probably looked at my social media, probably watched some of my lives, read some of my blogs on my website, maybe talked to a previous client or was referred to me from a previous client. So she wants to know that she's making the right decision. And of course, we talk about those things when I do my initial call with them, just to find out, what are your goals? What are the things that you're struggling with? There's also another part of it as well too. And, some of this, when I was thinking about International Women's Day on Sunday, and I thought, how do I show up for women? What is the thing that I do to help a woman be stronger, help a woman be more resilient, help a woman get her vibrancy and vitality back? What do I do to, I guess, help them achieve those goals? So I really started to think about this. And the guarantee has been something that I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. And I just thought, you know what? Now is the time. Now is the time to talk about this. Now is the time to put it out there, because that is the commitment that I'm making to each woman who makes the decision to work with me, invests in her health, but she's also investing in me. She's investing in my methods. So she's investing in a confidence, a hope. Um, Yeah, I think those are probably the best words, she's trusting me, she's investing her trust in me, and that's probably the biggest thing of all. So that's why I decided that, yes, it's time to talk about this. The other part is that with me giving a guarantee, and as I mentioned, yes, I am expecting certain things from my client. So, one of the things that I want is, okay, what are your goals? What are your goals of while we're working together? What things would you like to achieve? And that's partially discussed in the initial call as well too. But I want to make sure that what I offer, what I do with my methods, is aligned with what she's looking for. um, I don't want to bring somebody on as a client just to bring the dollars in, and then I can't help her in the end. That's not going to help me, because that's going to leave her frustrated and disappointed and not talk very nicely about me. And it's not going to feel good for me either. So, what she's looking for is very important, because I want to make sure that I can help her with those things. The other part is that I do ask my clients to stay engaged, because this does take work, and sometimes, it's a big mindset shift of the things that I provide in the protocol. They're not weird or anything like that. They're not woo woo or anything like that, but they do require some commitment to lifestyle change. And it also requires to be open-minded about the changes, and that change takes time. Sometimes as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves of, wanting to get to certain things, or, reduce certain symptoms. We want it to all happen quickly, and it doesn't always happen quickly. Yes, every one of my clients within the first couple of weeks can say, wow, this has changed, or I'm feeling this, so they can feel that. But then sometimes some of the things that have been hanging around for a while, sometimes we need to work on those a little bit. And that does require feedback from the client. So that's where I ask them to remain engaged on a regular basis. Don't let too long go between the appointments, because I can't help if I don't know what's happening. And of course, I've got ways for clients to communicate with me in between appointments, most definitely. But sometimes, having the conversation makes all of the difference, because sometimes things can be misconstrued through text or email. So I do request that the client be engaged. I have other tools that I utilize that I ask the clients to continue to use. Again, that allows me to see what they're, doing from day to day with respect to the things that they're eating, or, challenges that they might be having, say with bowel movements, or with sleep, or with energy. They give me that feedback in the journals that they use, and that allows me to take a look at, okay, what's been happening over the last few days? Where can I provide some advice? So I get great insights from those journals. And sometimes, even when we're journaling and we see that information, if we're looking at it ourselves, sometimes it doesn't always register that, oh, gee, I ate this really late in the day. Maybe a lot of refined carbs. Maybe that's why I didn't sleep so well that night. It can be little things like that, where I'm sort of outside of you, and very focused on you, but outside of you. So I can see those little things and say, do you want to change this and see how that works? And so that's where the engagement is really important. But I also believe that, in this whole coaching world, people become coaches in different ways. Sometimes it's through a life experience. For me, I realized I had a passion for nutrition while I was preparing for my bodybuilding competition. And rather than just take that experience and everything else that I had been reading before that, because my whole journey towards becoming a nutritionist started at about age 45, roughly. And I was reading a lot of books and, reading people who were nutritionists, who had the education. So I knew that I was getting good information, but I went to school because I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more than what I learned through those books or learned through other experiences that I had. So for me, my focus on focusing or working with women who are navigating the various stages of menopause, the first part of my training came from being a certified nutritional practitioner, 2 years of school. And through that, of course, I've shared before, but if you're new and haven't heard this story before, my focus was just to heal my body. It wasn't even focused on solving my menopause issues. I just wanted to feel better because I was in pain 24/7. My digestive system was completely messed up. And so that was my focus going to school was I just want to feel a bit better. I don't want to feel this awful every day. And through everything that I was doing and all the support I was providing to my body, through all of that, my menopause symptoms completely disappeared. And that was my aha moment. Okay, I can take these things that I'm learning and I can work with women to help them reduce their menopause symptoms. So we all come from it from a different perspective. But for me, nutrition absolutely is the foundation of what I do. And that's a very big part of my methods. And I do stand behind that. And I totally believe in that. And every one of my clients that have followed my protocols, stayed engaged, they've had big changes. They've reached their goals. And they can turn around and say, wow, I never thought I would feel this good again. For a while there, I really questioned it. So I'm not criticizing anybody, and I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying that, the things that I learned while going through school really were key to the methods that I use to help my clients. And I guess, these are the things that I feel that a potential client should be interested in. Where did you get your training? How did you develop these methods? And yeah, over time of working with clients, I always share that we're all unique. We're all very different. And over time, though, sometimes something that worked for one client, sometimes will work for another, and sometimes they'll be completely different. And I have talked before about my client who we solved so many issues with respect to her menopause symptoms, but we couldn't get rid of the hot flashes. And the one little key that I didn't think it was going to have that big of an effect, but for her it did, because for others it didn't. But for her, it was coffee. And the moment that she changed that habit, her menopause, her hot flashes went away completely. And I think we were both kind of shocked as to how much, one of her favorite habits of having that morning coffee, and she also had another one in the afternoon, um, how much that was affecting her hot flashes. So it can be little things like that. And that's why I truly believe that every woman who's going through menopause, who's really struggling, feels that she hasn't been heard or feels like the things that she's done in the past, she's Googled, she's, you know, bought books, she's looked at all of the information, and she still isn't feeling good. That's where I believe working with me and that personalized support that I provide based on all of my knowledge, working with people, and my education, I believe that that's what truly can make the difference. And in my guarantee or my commitment, I hate calling it a guarantee that but it's my commitment to my clients is that, if you're not getting the results that you're looking for based on the protocol, you're doing everything, you're staying engaged, you're following what you should be following. And if you're not getting those results that you're looking for, I will continue to work with that client until they receive those results. No additional cost, but I will continue working with them because maybe there's something that I missed. And that's exactly what I did with this client with the hot flashes. Continued to work with her because I just couldn't understand why we couldn't solve that. And I continued to work with her and support her. Wasn't on a regular basis because she was feeling pretty good overall, but I kept doing the research. Where can I find this missing key? And, when I happened to talk about matcha, and she's like, huh, maybe I'll try that. And that was the one thing that made the difference. So for her, it worked. Doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. I actually had somebody just recently comment on that video that I did about the coffee that she found the same thing. The moment she eliminated coffee, 100% change. And so for her, that was a big deal. And she was really happy to see that I'd done a video on that. And that just reaffirmed that, that was the key for her. So, in working with clients, I believe in partnership. I believe in personalization, but I also believe in my commitment to you. If you're committed to your health and regaining your vibrancy and vitality, then I'm committed to you as well too. And I think that's all I really wanted to share about why I'm offering a guarantee and why I stand behind that is just basically my philosophy of who I am and what I feel women deserve when they're engaged and they're invested. I'm doing the same back for them. So thank you very much for joining. If you've got any comments, I'm just going to bring up my banner here just to remind you that I do offer a complimentary 30-minute conversation. If you're curious about what personalized menopause support looks like, then go to my website, conniepertula.com, and right on there you will see apply to work with me, and you can click on that and we can schedule a consultation, or you can just reach out to me. You can DM me directly, can make a comment down below that you'd like to reach out to me. Then yeah, I'm happy to connect with you and happy to have that conversation because it's not for some people, like I say, they like to do it on their own. And then there's others that are doing it on their own and they're just feeling very lost, very defeated, very overwhelmed, not even sure what's working for them, what's not working. And that's where having, an additional pair of eyes can really make the difference. And as I always say, every woman deserves to feel amazing through the stages of menopause and beyond. And, I again, once again, believe that this is such an important time in our life because the foundation that we're laying through these stages of menopause and as we age into postmenopause, that makes us strong and vibrant and allows us to be independent for as long as we want. And not everybody has a huge support network. And sometimes that support network starts to diminish a little bit as well too. So the healthier that we are as those years go on, that allows us to remain independent, I don't mean being completely alone, but allows us to remain independent as long as possible. So I know sometimes I carry on. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great week. If you've got any questions, reach out. I'm happy to answer them. And as always, I really want my information to get out to as many women as possible. Please like and subscribe, comment, share this with another woman that you think it would be beneficial for. And I will be back again next week with another topic on Navigating Midlife Live. Have a great day.